On the show this week, we have Indian golfing young gun Shiv Kapur.
I've always been one of those that's sort of looked ahead and planned ahead. And I guess if I wasn't a golfer, I would have probably been an investment banker. That's what I really wanted to do.
In news, Rory McIlroy wins Shanghai Masters. Bowen Pelt wins Asia Pacific Classic. And how to keep the right approach to hit tee shot in golfing tip.
The key thing that you need to remember here, as per the rules of golf, I can stand outside the tee markers, but have the ball teed up within the tee.
Shiv Kapur, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Shaili.
Nice and bright. I like that always.
Thanks.
You're right in the middle of a lot of travel. How is it all playing out?
It's been tiring, I have to say. This year has been very, very hectic. I've already played over 30 events and only 9 months into the season. So this week's been a bit of a forced rest. It's going to be hectic the next few weeks as well. But I've been enjoying it. It's been fun, but it's been a lot of travel and, the air miles are kind of getting to me now.
The air miles are getting to you. But tell me, when you select your tournaments, what goes on? What is the criteria? Which ones do you pick? Which ones do you drop?
It changes every year. It changes on what your position is on the money list. It changes on how you're playing. But by and large, you play the best ones you can. I've been lucky enough that I've been playing on the European Tour the last 5 years and my ranking's been good enough to get in all the best events. 4 or 5 years ago, if you told me fly to Austria for a week and play and come back, I would, get on a plane and do it. But now I've become a bit spoilt, I think. I choose the good ones, prize money, the ones that suit my game. A lot of it goes into, I like playing in warmer weather. Initially, in Europe, I was always playing in cold weather and it sort of got to me. But
takes me to Nordia Masters. That must have been a tough one if you like good weather.
Yeah, it's, wind and rain is sort of part and parcel of what we do in Europe. We play a lot in, bad weather, but it's getting better. And this is actually the nice part of the season now. So next week's Madrid, then I come back for the Indian Open here, and then go back and play in Valencia, and then, it's obviously Singapore, Hong Kong, all those events. So yeah. I can pack my sweaters away for a while, which is nice, I think.
So let's talk about the early 2000s, when you became the golfing icon for a large number of youngsters. And you continue to I noticed, maintain the young factor. But what was it? Was that turning point of getting the Asian gold medal? It was a big thing for India, and today we seem to have come a long way from that time.
Yeah, for me, funnily enough, it was a goal growing up. I don't know where it came from or what happened, but from the time I was 10 or 11 years old, I said I want to win an Asian Games gold medal. I wrote an essay about it in school, and it was in class 5 or 6, and one of my teachers brought it to my attention, after I won the gold medal, and I thought, I don't know where that came from, but it was one of my goals, and I worked really hard for it. And 2 years before, in 2000, I went to America and I worked hard on my game. And come sort of 2002, when it actually happened, it was a huge thing for me. And till date, I've had a few professional wins and I've had a lot of success on different tours. But that to me is still my biggest highlight of my career.
At the end of the day, because it's also the timing of it.
Yeah, it was the timing. Plus, when you become a professional golfer, you become a bit selfish and everything's for yourself. And, the Asian Games gold medal was for India.
Yeah.
And I still remember when I landed in Delhi, walking out of the airport, and everyone from the taxi drivers to everyone that was waiting, applauded me. And, it was like walking down the ramp and everyone was clapping. And that doesn't happen if you go and win the Nordia Masters or the Dutch Open.
Yeah.
People don't really connect with you, but it was a gold medal for India and a lot of people connected with it. And that was a great feeling, standing on that podium with the national anthem. I'm a very, very sort of patriotic guy, and for me that was a very, very big moment.
When you look at today and how golf has sort of evolved since that time, do you think the gallery has grown in many ways? Do you get more attention? Do you think people are paying more focus, a little more of their time on golf today?
Golf's a lot bigger. When I started, I was sort of the only kid my age. I was 9, 10 years old, and every other kid was a lot older than me. And now you have 3, 4-year-old kids, so the audience has gotten a lot younger, and I think Tiger Woods is a big sort of factor in that. Tiger made golf cool in spite of what's happened with him since then. I still think he really popularized the game. And as far as India goes, we have more golf courses. When I started, it was just Delhi Golf Club and, Army Golf Club and Air Force Golf Club. And now you have, DLF and Classic Golf Resort and, everywhere. But I still think the problem is that golf is still limited to the big cities. You go in the interiors of the country, you go to small towns, people don't even know what golf is. I'd gone for a, friend's wedding to Rajasthan last year, and it was the Monday of the Indian Open, so I had to get a bit of practice. So I went out in the middle of the fields and I'm hitting balls, and within about 5 minutes, there must have been about 200 kids around me because they had never seen it. They said, "Ye lohe ki hockey kya hai? Ye itna lamba chakka kaise marte ho?" So, at the end of the day, everything is related to cricket, but they still don't know what golf is. They've never seen, look at the bag with all these clubs. They don't quite get what it is.
I think at some level it also is a large number of cricketers have suddenly taken up to golf, so they tend to associate golf a little more from beyond the golfer story as well. I guess that is one piece that's worth looking at. We'll catch up with Shiv ahead as I try and take a short shot right here.
Good? Down the middle?
Shiv, I keep asking people on my show what is going so well for golf. So I want to play the devil's advocate today and ask you, isn't there a bit of euphoria and hype attached to the golfing story in India? Are we truly making such a big mark as well as getting enough attention on it from a television, government standpoint?
I think there's two sides to it. Popularity of the game's definitely grown. Like I was saying, the sport's gotten younger, seeing a lot more kids playing, but at the same time, nothing's done at the grassroots level. My biggest thing that I've always said, and I've said this to the IGU and PGT, and I think they're trying to do what they can in their own limited way, but we don't have enough public driving ranges. We don't have enough academies where kids can go and train. So whatever's happening right now, the India story as far as how successful the golfers have been is not because of a system in place, but in spite of a system. Everything that you have to do is a personal effort. When I had to play, I went to America for 4 years. And, to me, that's a bit unfortunate. We come from a country of 1 billion people. We've got everything going. The whole world's talking about the Indian economy and how it's the India story. But when it comes to sports, we have to leave our own shores to go and get better. When you have a population of 1 billion people, you don't have space for golf courses. The cities don't have. But you can have driving ranges. And I think that's why Korea has done really well. The Korean women and the Korean men coming up in the sport is all, they've learnt their golf and driving ranges which are 50 yards wide in between parking lots. And that's sort of the idea that I've sort of given to people in the private sector, saying, look, in the middle of the business district between two buildings, you can set up a 50, 80 yard driving range and people will come and play. Watch Tea Time on ET now with my favorite golfing partner, Shaili Chopra.